And we are live.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's new, John?
What's new? Let's see. Oh, I got some interesting thing that happened to me. So I was someone had messaged me on Twitter and they're like, "Have you seen this?" And it was a link to a book that was in Meep by Manning called Soft Skills.
No way.
Yeah. So I was like, what the hell is this, right? So I go and I look at the page, and sure enough, they have a book called Soft Skills that they're writing. And so I flew off the handle. I sent out a nasty tweet, and then I emailed them, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And so it was a little premature, I guess, but I mean, they didn't expect me to react that way. But ultimately, I talked to them, and they're going to change the title of the book. So
Nice.
which I just
So,
put my version of Soft Skills on Amazon just yesterday, in fact. So it's
nice.
not officially launched yet, but it's available for purchase. So but I'm going to do the official launch next month.
So does this have any basis in your book at all, like even just chapters or anything?
I mean, it's so much similar content. Definitely there's things that are very similar. Which is, I mean, a book on soft skills, of course, is going to have somewhat
Right.
similar content. So I'm not like too
Mm-hmm.
it was just the name, right? Because the problem was that it's a confusion issue, right? If people
Right.
buy a book from Manning called Soft Skills, they're going to think that it is my book, and my book has a reputation, right, as being one of the top
Mm-hmm.
software development books. So that's
Right.
that's the deal. So confusion, you know what I mean? Like brand
Yep.
confusion, especially with my book coming out. So so yeah, so I was not happy to deal with, but to give Manning credit, they dealt with it in a pretty good way. So I was impressed with how they dealt with it. So yeah,
Oh man. So did you get to keep your book cover, or did you have to make up your own?
I didn't like the book cover, so
I didn't either, but I was wondering.
yeah, yeah. So
You
I
got it
created my
redesigned.
own. Yeah, yeah. Actually, here I'll send you the link. You can see it's on Amazon right now. It's weird, like with Amazon, um, you can't really control when things release on Amazon.
Uh-huh.
Not really. But so I couldn't really, I mean, I think you might be able to for the Kindle, you can pre-order or whatever, but for paperback, you can't control when it comes out. So I just put them both available, and then you know, I'll just I'll just do the launch. You know, most people won't know. Like some people that are watching this show will maybe buy the book ahead of time, but
Right. Well, it looks good.
Launching
yeah.
another book?
Yeah, well, I put the soft skills book out into the wild, into
Yeah.
Amazon. I'll be doing the launch next month, but part of the reason why I did it too was because you missed the part, but someone had sent me a tweet, and they're like, "Have you seen this?" And I clicked the link, and it's a book that's in early production by Manning, my previous publisher, called Soft Skills. So, but they, to give them credit, they decided to go ahead and change the name of the book after I had talked to them. So,
Yeah.
That would not be cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
they were trying to assert they had the right to the title, and and I was like, yeah, like regardless of any of those things, like the biggest issue is like it would be deception to the consumer, right? That's like the biggest thing, is
Yeah.
because people obviously know my book. My book is famous. I mean, so if people are buying a book called Soft Skills from Manning, they're expecting to get my book. They're not expecting to get some other book. So it was, yeah. Anyway, but they did the right thing, and they changed the title. So my book's out there, the official second edition of Soft Skills. And
Yeah. Well, soft skills is a term that's used in the industry anyway. So I don't know that you could assert any kind of
well, it wasn't used
claim.
in the tech industry until my book came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, there was no soft skills track in tech conferences until my book came out. Pretty much, I was kind of the one who was the only person doing soft skills for software development. Back in the day. So
Right.
So I'm not saying that it wouldn't have possibly emerged. I'm just saying that, I was the one who
You
basically
helped
made it popular.
popularize the term. Yeah.
Exactly. So
cool.
Industry, soft skills are very common.
Yeah, but not the term, not in technology, not in software development. Now they are, of course. But,
in the industry that Chuck plays. Soft skills industry. The soft porn industry. No, I didn't say that.
Oh, that
geez.
does.
Industry
Okay.
that Chuck spends time on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you know me. Oh, well, that's interesting. I'm glad that the internet drama got headed off.
Yeah, it's funny. It was funny that to talk to them and be like, "Hey, so remember when that whole thing happened?" And then, it happened in the rest of the world. So good job, like buildings, like because there was one point, like slight contentious point in the conversation where they're like, "Well, it cost us a lot of money, like $500,000." And I was like, well, it cost me over $500,000, but I was like, and I had a chance to recant and not cost myself that money, but I decided not to. And I was pretty glad
What
to be on
cost
the
them
right,
$500,000?
like having to pull the book, apparently, whatever. But
That
I was
was
like,
their decision.
well, exactly. That's why I was like, yeah, but I kind of feel a little vindicated being on the right side of history. And they're like, what? It's like, yeah, because basically what happened in the tech industry when I got canceled, happened writ large in the rest of the world as buildings were burned down and looting and rioting, and it was the same people. I was like, and that was the exact same group of people that you guys supported. So good job on that one. So
yeah, my father-in-law keeps telling me that I was ahead of my time.
Yeah,
because I got canceled 8 months before everybody else got canceled.
Exactly.
Cancel culture really took off.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's okay though. Cancel culture is eating itself. So
I am very seriously considering putting a blog post up and just saying, hey, look, I really miss the tech community. This isn't the tech community. This is the political tech community, and it sucks. And I want to go back to, hey, let's all help each other do well in our careers and not care so much about who you voted for or any of this other garbage.
Yeah, good luck. Good luck with that. You better have a time machine. Yeah.
Well, then they'll come over here with pitchforks and torches, but
yeah, you dare? How dare you? How dare you? So anyway, that was fun. So, but it forced me to to step up and get the book launched or underway. So that'll be happening. I've still got to record the audio for the new version of the book. I just hired an editor to edit the audio for the other book that Will Gant that I'm publishing through Simple Programmer called Remote Work. So that the paperback and Kindle hasn't done so well. I'm not sure why, but anyway, hoping that the audio version will do good. And then
yeah, we had Will on our shows to talk about the book.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't do quite that well, but we'll see. Maybe the audio will kick it up and stuff. I've done a pretty good amount of promotion for the book, but
yep.
But yeah, I'm hoping once I get those out, then I'm leaning more and more towards turning Simple Programmer into a publishing house instead of because the content that I create is not really program related anyway, and the books do well, so I need to get another writer on staff, and then what I should do is just have the whole blog be written by have a writing staff that actually writes specifically for SEO for what I want SEO things for. So
So how's it going with the summit?
So I've got like one or two people that I still have to get scheduled. But then everybody else is recorded except for 3 other interviews next week and 2 more today. And yeah, I've actually had, at this point, I've got 4 or 5 of my speakers that are just super excited to promote the summit. I've got a couple of them that are actually wanting to help me nail down my monetization for DevChat. So I've been talking to these people and going, okay, how do I do this part? Right. And so that's been awesome. I have just, these people are terrific, and I am super excited about where it's going. So,
That's
and
awesome.
they also really want to help me get Podcast Playbook up and running and do that too. So
what's the Podcast Playbook?
That's going to be the step-by-step. Essentially what it is I'm doing write-ups and videos of all of our processes for doing the podcasts. And then, as I improve it, based on what we got out of like Podcast Growth Summit, if I do a monetization summit next year, what we get out of that, then I'll just wind up going in and updating all of that. But it's going to be the operating manual for DevChat essentially. And there's just going to be a few like generalized parts of it, right? So instead of here's the username and password to get into the system, it's just going to be log into the system and do this. And then my team will have access.
You're going to sell it as a course or as a book?
Yeah, basically as a course. I'm thinking about putting it into a book as well. But if I do that, what I'll probably wind up doing is doing like the 2021 podcast playbook. And then in 2022, I'll go update it, right? Hey, we switched these systems out. We do, we updated these processes, and just sell it as a book on Amazon. And it's just a walkthrough on, hey, look, whether you're an experienced person or a new person, the only difference is that on the setup steps, go back and audit it if you're already doing it right. Make sure that you're doing the things in the playbook. And if not, if you're new, then just do it right the first time. So that's kind of the plan. I have to do a lot of that anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah. When are you like I thought you were gonna promote some sort of a mastermind.
Yeah, that's what I'm promoting off the back of this. The podcast playbook itself is further down the road. I am going to start recording YouTube videos and putting it into a podcast, kind of like what you and John do for 2000 Books and Bulldog Mindset. Because I'm going to talk at my camera and then release the audio as a podcast
for
your podcast playbook.
That's a new podcast you're releasing?
Yeah.
Hang on. Podcast Playbook is a course and it's a podcast as well.
Yes.
So it's a completely different brand.
Yes.
And the Podcast Growth Summit is just one of the many parts of the Podcast Playbook.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
The more I get into this too, honestly, I don't know. I keep going back and forth on what I want to do with devchat.tv. I want to keep it going. I want to help programmers, but I am really, really tired of the programming community. And I feel bad for the people that are stuck in it, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I want to take all of, that's why I'm talking about this blog post, earlier, is I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I can just, gather in all the people who are tired of this BS and just say, hey, look, I'm just doing this for you. But I don't know. I'm really tired, and I'm tired of taking all of because I still get crap from the tech community about stuff. And it's like, hey, look, all I did is I stood up for a friend of mine and I went out of my way to help you people.
Yeah, you
I'm
gotta
getting kicked in the teeth. So
you, yeah.
I don't know.
When are you releasing the summit now?
The 7th through the 11th.
7th through the 11th of December.
Yeah.
Okay. And when are people, did you write up, like, I'm sure you're writing up the emails for the promotion.
We're writing them up. It's turned out to be a lot more work. You can tell me you told me so. Then I thought, yeah.
It's a lot of work, man.
Well, the other thing is I've been sick this week and I get done with work and I just go crazy.
I would really like to, okay, so I mean, as I think about this campaign for like what you're trying to put together, one thing, like you need to sell the participants on promoting the campaign for you, right? So hopefully not just one email, but multiple emails, right?
Yes.
Every email makes you more money, makes them more money. So you can't just be like, hey, can you send this one email? No, it's like, we're going to make money. These are the 4 emails. I think you should send them. They'll help you establish yourself as the authority. But you have to speak to their deeper benefits to get them to send those emails, because most people won't send more than one email at best.
Yeah. Yeah. What I'd like to do is I'd actually like to have a sequence where they get, 3 or 4 of them that have like some content to them. And one of them is content out of their own talk, right? It's like, hey, I talked about this, I dropped this bomb, and then I dropped like 6 other things, right?
Be very wary of overdoing this, because if you start to customize those damn emails, your mind will blow up. You have what, 30, 40 people right now?
Yeah, I'm about 35.
Yeah, you should be very wary of customizing anything for anyone except that giving them just cookie cutter. These are the emails. They outline all the benefits and tell them, feel free to add your own stuff in it that you talk about in your talk. That would help probably make it better. But if you start customizing, you'll go crazy, man. You don't have that.
No, I like that. I like that. Just the put in the benefits, outline what people are getting, and then maybe drop a knowledge bomb or 2 that are in there.
Yeah, just put the bullets in there that are generic bullets, but don't like put bullets specific for them, because then it will be just too much.
Yeah, generic bullets, but then at the end of the day, I can say, look, if you want to put your own in here,
0 to $1 million downloads in less than a year, blah blah blah, whatever you want it to be.
Yeah,
but don't put precise ones. And then the other end of the spectrum, once you get that going, you really need your upsell page working properly, especially your mastermind page. How much are you? How are you planning to do this? Is this going to be a call with you, or are they just going to buy right through that, through the sales process? How much is the price?
They're just going to buy it right through the sales process.
How much are you selling it for?
$1,000.
$1,000 right through the sales process. And what is the structure of the mastermind?
We're going to do a call every week for 3 months. And we're basically just going to tackle a set of tactics from one of the talks each week. So there's a lot of overlap on kind of the main ideas. And so I can strip those down to, it's like, hey, look, this was the most common thing. This was the next most common thing.
But what's the pitch? Give me the pitch.
So the pitch is, it's one thing to watch the talks and try and figure out step by step what you're supposed to do. It's another thing to actually be in a group where we're all working on it at the same time. We're all brainstorming about how we can make the process better. When we're talking about how we can get this done, and then we can compare results. So essentially what you get is somebody who's been podcasting for 12 years, working through this, telling you and showing you how to do it, and then all of the input from all of the other people in the mastermind to help you make it better and succeed where you can't do it alone. And you'll have accountability to actually go implement.
Yeah, I can see that being very useful. The first part, I am not so sure about. I would like to hear what John has to say about it. And the idea that, hey, I know I'm giving you all this information, but you will, but I'm going to help you implement it. See, people have already spent like $97, and now they're like, shit, do I need to spend $1,000 to go implement this? No, I can probably do it myself. I don't know. That's my gut instinct right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, people will pay certainly for group coaching, but the problem is that, well, I mean, your target has to be people that already have a successful business, and then they're trying to start a podcast to grow that business. I think that's really, because that's who's going to pay for it. So that's going to be your angle. And I think there's plenty of people that would do that for sure.
But do you really think that's the people he's going to be able to, like, it's not so much that what he's targeting, it's the crowd he's going to get. And if John Lee Dumas is going to send to his email list, it's mostly a crowd of entrepreneurs, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get onto John's email list per se.
Or who is the big promoter, you think?
Yeah, probably. I'm just thinking because Daniel Lewis wants to promote it. Matt Passy wants to promote it.
So Daniel Lewis is definitely, he's just a podcasting guy. He's just straight up, this is how you podcast kind of person.
So is Matt Passy.
Okay.
Jamie Atkinson is very much on the train of build your podcast and build your business and make them align so that you can make money.
Well, you're talking about what, $1,000 a month for this group coaching?
No, it's $1,000 total.
For how many weeks?
12 weeks.
Oh, well, that's a pretty damn good deal. I mean, I think you could do $1,000 a week and get like 10 people, and then like $1,000 a month and get like 10 people, but $1,000 for 12 weeks, that's, I think that opens it up to more than people that just have businesses. I think entrepreneurs for sure, anyone wanting to start a podcast would pay that amount.
Well, the other thing is it helps me refine, because if I'm kind of aiming to get like 20 people in. And even if it's 10 people, at least then I can go through it and I can continue to refine the messaging and the product and all this stuff and make sure that I know exactly who wants it, who's going to benefit from it, and who I should be aiming at with it.
So here's one thing though. You don't want to sell $20,000 worth of this 12-week coaching by itself. You need to have some way to continue to make money from it. So maybe it's like $1,000 for the 12-week coaching, and then they get enrolled in $100 a month membership where they're
that's where the podcast playbook is going to live, actually. And the idea there is it goes beyond just here's how you podcast, but it's, hey, you hired an editor, here's all the training for your editor. Hey, you hired a show notes person, here's all the training for your show notes person, right? And so it's very much geared around building your team and making the podcasting work for you as seamlessly as possible.
So the challenge partly is that you can't really, I've tried this now multiple times. Upselling a membership is really hard.
Yeah, that's probably true.
It's very, very hard compared to just selling something.
Well, I could just sell the course for $1,000.
No, so $1,000
the whole playbook.
No. If you're charging one-time $1,000 for 3 months of coaching, that's good. I'm saying, like, if you were to charge recurring $100 a month, that would actually become more of a challenge, because people like will select, they'll click on it, and then later on be like, oh no, like I didn't know it was recurring, and this and that. It's just too much headache. Like I get too many cancellations out of upsells than people who just buy straight up because they've been like sold properly. Cancellations on upsells on membership. Upsells on other things, I don't get cancellations. It's the funniest thing. Memberships, I get way more cancellation upsells. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, I think, well, memberships are non-refundable, but with this, what you need to do is you need to sell it at the end of the, like, week 11 and 12. That's where you sell the $100 a month Like once they've already gotten a bunch of value, and it's like, now you want to continue with this, and then this is what I've got coming. This is the next step, essentially. Then you sell it.
I would say you should charge premium price, not 100, but more like 500
per month.
And because he has a small audience in that niche right now. So
I know, but if I do 500 a month, what I was looking at there is continuing the mastermind for 500 a month, and you get access to the playbook as part of it.
Yeah, something like that. Well, this is all going to be figured out, but I have a feeling that right now you won't have big enough audience to sustain a business at $100 a month for audience, right? He has a very small audience.
Well, the whole idea is that you'd get new groups every 12 weeks in, right? Every maybe 16 weeks, because you need to do a relaunch, and then.
Yeah, but the other thing is that I'm also looking at doing an ongoing mastermind where it's not focused on the growth per se. Like you can go join the growth mastermind for 12 weeks, but then I'm going to try and upsell you if I think you're a good fit for just a general podcast mastermind where you come in once or twice a month, you're in the hot seat. We help you figure out what to do next to up your subscribership or make money at or whatever. Right. And essentially it's group coaching at that point, but it's group coaching where you get your question answered, and maybe somebody else in the group is struggling there too. And so they get their thing answered at the same time. Somebody else may have already mastered it. So, they're a participant, but they join in, and anyway, you get that interplay.
I think this is interesting. At the same time, you're completely walked away from what you're building with that chat. So strategically thinking, you really have to now figure out which way you're going to take this train, because trying to ride both these horses is going to be
I don't know if it's going to work. I just don't. Doing them both.
I mean, see what happens what the popularity is when you do the summit, and then when you try this, and that can, because I mean, normally I would say just stick to the dev chat stuff and keep on, but you're right. I mean, the programming community is, it is what it is, and so far it doesn't look like things are going to really pick up much there. So, but it's not necessarily bad to, like, I mean, you if this podcasting works, then you can teach it, and then you can just keep this running, like, without really growing the dev chat stuff. Just, you can get to the point where it's kind of self-sufficient, I would say. But
it's just,
but it's another thing I have to manage still.
This is a dangerous, like, much as it is a great thing, you might actually have to pick one horse.
I know.
The problem is, though, you can't pick the podcast horse, because it's really difficult to, like, have credibility if you are not running podcasts.
Well, if the podcast is about podcasting, which is what he's trying to do, then it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to
you're telling me I can't teach you how to make money if I start a website on how to make money?
Correct. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, I think there are some things that are yet to be seen here, and I'll probably just continue to play it by ear. But I am worried about trying to chase two different things at the same time.
This is a tough one, man. This is a tough one.
I'm telling you, I am really tired of the tech community. I love a lot of people in it. I know they're trying to do the best they can, but sometimes it just does not feel like it's worth it at all for the amount of garbage you have to sluice through in order to get to gold.
Yeah,
man, this is tough. All I can say is that trying to ride both these horses will drive you crazy.
I think you're right, but I think we're just going to have to see where things kind of go over the next little while.
What do you want to do?
I just want to help people.
No, that's a cop-out.
I know it is. It is a cop-out. So the thing is that I really love helping people build something. And I want to feel like I'm making a difference. I feel like these offer two different ways where I can do that in communities that I care about, right? So one is with the podcasting stuff, I feel like podcasting is still young enough to where I can really make an impact on the way that people podcast, on the way that people get their messages out there, on the way that people impact the world. And I don't have to be the person out there actually putting the content out that changes minds, but I want to enable people to go out and do that. With the programming community, the thing that I found really fulfilling there is just people get stuck on dumb crap, and just helping them kind of get out of their own way and level up, find a better job. I've talked to so many people that they listened to our podcast as they were getting into programming, and it gave them the knowledge and skills that they needed so that they actually got $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 raise by moving into tech or moving up in position or seniority. And if you're deliberate about that, right? If you sit down and you're constantly thinking about, okay, what do I want? What do I need to know to get there? What skills do I need to build? How do I do that? I feel like I can really impact people. The problem is that you start flirting with the ideas around tech being a meritocracy, and all of the social justice people go bananas because they don't want a meritocracy. They feel like that discriminates against people, and so they get all kinds of angry, and then you wind up in a fight, and it makes it hard to want to keep helping people when you're getting smacked over the head for it all the time.
Well, if you want to go down that road, kind of what you just described, then you've got to set yourself apart by clearly saying this is not for you to a bunch of people. You know what I mean? You got to basically say, look, this is for non-woke tech people. Like,
basically,
like if you're woke, get out of here. We don't want you. Now that will cut your audience by a large amount. It will, but it will make it a focus-driven audience. If that's the road you want to go down, right? I mean, you can continue the road. Like if you continue the road you're going down with Dev Chat, then you just have to kind of remain mostly neutral, you know what I mean, and just continue to grow the podcast and seek out advertising revenue. But if you want to go down the road you're talking about and make it something that you actually believe in, then I don't think there's much of a choice besides being polarizing and setting down a stance and saying, because then you can grab all the people that are like, yeah, that's what I support. Is I like this non-woke tech. That I like the idea of a meritocracy, and then you get those people. So it'll be less people, but they'll be much more rabid.
Okay, so I am not convinced that Chuck really wants to fight that fight right now.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Maybe Chuck's not convinced he wants to fight that fight right now.
Maybe Chuck doesn't want to go Donald Trump on this shit right now. That's what I'm hearing.
I don't know.
But you got to make a choice. I mean, like, what are the options here, right? So it's like option A, continue with DevChat TV, right? And in this case, you just got to keep on. You got to ride this out, continue to grow the podcast, try to bring on sponsors as you can, and basically just be as neutral as possible, and try to just like wait till people forget about the past, right?
But ride this out and continue to find sponsors. That's not working right now.
It's not working right now.
Well,
that's why he's doing this.
It doesn't mean that it can't work.
Well, it won't. Okay, so let's step back, and I will venture to say that whatever it was, now it has even less likelihood of working because now he has another horse to worry about.
Well, okay, so that's why I'm getting to. So that's option A. Option B is to go the podcast teaching route instead of the podcast doing route, right? In which case, you've basically, I would say that you can't just completely get rid of DevChat TV, but you have to put on autopilot to some degree, or bring in a partner that runs it or something like that, so that you don't have to.
All are things that I have thought about. Yes.
Right. And then option C is to take DevChat TV and just go with it in a polarizing method where you just say, okay, look, this is what the new thing is. This is what we stand for. And, this is why you want to come over here and support us.
Yep.
So option C is Chuck doesn't want to Donald Trump it. So we're going to call it quits on that.
I might want to. I need to just figure it out. I need to sit down and just figure out which way I want to go and then just commit to it.
Because if you go down that route, you won't have the energy to start the podcasting thing as well.
Yeah.
Because you got to make one, I just released a video 3 days ago, Mark Cuban from his book. If you haven't read it, I really love that book, How to Win in the Sport of Business by Mark Cuban. Just his bunch of blogs, but it's good stuff. I like it. I really like Mark Cuban stuff. So one of the things he keeps saying in the book again and again, he kind of revisits it in many different angles. He's like, don't drown in opportunities.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
If you are fighting one battle and you feel like you're losing that battle, don't start another battle.
Right.
Either totally abandon the battle and start another one, or go win that battle.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, now you're fighting two wars on two fronts. And as an early stage, until you get to a certain level of profitability, trying to fight all these wars on all these fronts will just wear the fuck out of anyone.
Yep. Yeah, and that's...
You're playing too many games and you can't really focus on any of them to win.
Yep.
Right? Now, right now you have three games. You have DevChat, you have the podcast playbook, and you have your full-time run now, or your day.
Yeah.
Thing. That's pretty dangerous already. Now you got to pick and choose your poisons, man. I know I'm being I'm trying to make
you are saying what I've been thinking for the last few weeks.
Yeah, I'm bringing out stuff that you probably don't want to constantly obsess on. But shit, man, this is the thing. This is really crucial for you to decision at some point.
Yeah.
Because the more you delay this decision, the more you're going down the path of just trying all of these things and blowing up all of them in different directions. And now you're like, okay, well, I got this going, and I got this going, and I got this going, and I need momentum. The thing that will happen when you have everything going is that nothing is working.
Right.
Yeah.
So you lose momentum on all fronts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as a strategic, 10,000, 30,000 feet overview, all I can say is you got to pick one horse.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's true.
No, it's true. Believe me.
Yeah. Well, this is what I've been thinking about, and so
you got to pick one horse until at least you get one profitable, one systematic profitable thing going.
Yeah.
Right?
Even then, it's better to just have.
Even then, I mean, John knows it very well.
Yeah. I've got so many horses. I have to build a new stable of horses. It's
we'll talk about it.
There's pros and cons to it. I mean, the pro is that I'm anti-fragile in the sense that no one blow can ever destroy me. But at the same time, a better way to build anti-fragility, right? If I were to advise someone else, would be to just focus on one thing, make a shit ton of cash, and then use that cash as an anti-fragile system as opposed to cash flow system.
Yeah,
I'm anti-fragile from a cash flow. You can't stop me. I'm uncancelable because you can't cut off my cash flow. But cash having a bunch of cash would do the same thing.
Yeah. There are two strategies to anti-fragile. The strategy that you have, John, it works when you have plenty of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? That works when you have plenty of runway to do, if someone was starting as an entrepreneur today, you wouldn't say, hey man, go build a YouTube channel and a podcast and a blog and keep doing all of them. And, at some point, all of that will work out for you and you will be okay. And things will, you will have a business and you will have a coaching business and a course business and all those things. You would normally not tell that to most people, even though that would be the most anti-fragile way to build it, because you would have different marketing channels and
Right.
all these different things, all these pillars working, it would be very difficult. So initially, you'd really need to just go very fast and make tons of money, because you just take one channel, one marketing channel, one topic, one thing, you go super fast on that, you make tons of money, and then you can be like, all right, let me now build my anti-fragility. I think the latter is the way to go. The former is a very dangerous way, because you can build a very anti-fragile business, but it's also going to be a very slow growth business.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Believe me, if I could cut things out, I would love to cut things out, but I'm in too deep, as they say. So
yeah, you don't want to be in John's situation a year from now. Well, yes, you do, if you had all of the backup that John has.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. If you had all the resources that John has, then yeah, who cares? You'd be like, fuck it, I'll do whatever the fuck I want. I'll start the podcast playbook and I'll do podcast playbook part 3. Fuck you guys, right? But you have to be like, okay, I want to bet on one horse and go 100 miles an hour on that, rather than try to get 3 horses going at 30 miles per hour.
Right.
It's interesting. I just read Matthew McConaughey's biography.
Oh damn! I just ordered it.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's pretty good. It's about what you would think. But one of the key things in it was there was a point in his career where he's doing all these rom-coms, right? And he was making a lot of money doing rom-coms, and then he was like, I don't want to do rom-coms anymore. I want to do like a serious role. And so he basically he got this offer for this rom-com where they're going to pay him $5 million for 2 months on the set. And he was like, no, I'm not doing it. Right. And then they come back and they're like $7.5 million. And they come back with 10 million.
Is this it?
Yep. Green lights.
Yeah. Yep. And then they come back with $15 million. And he's like, the script that was attached to the $15 million. He's like, that script was a lot better. It looks so much better, just much better written. He's like, it's the exact same script, but and but he turned it down. Right. And he was just like, and he had this drought of then no one would send him anything for 2 to 3 years till he finally got a part. Or he was doing Dallas Buyers Club. And he was funding it himself because they didn't have the budget. What is
Dallas Buyers Club? It's a movie?
That's the one where he plays the HIV guy. He dropped down from 180 pounds to 135 pounds.
Oh gosh.
Movie. So but that was his thing, and it was like a $1 million budget. They had to do it for $700,000, right? Anyway, he ended up doing that, and then he ended up getting all these gigs, but he basically completely changed his completely changed. He did a movie called Dragon something where he shaved his head and he was like a dragon fighter.
Oh wow.
Not even a very well-known movie, but I forgot what it was called, something something fire or something, whatever it was. But anyway, what I got from that, which was so interesting, was that he put it all on the line. He was he basically gave up everything that he was doing that was successful, and he pivoted and said, this is what I want to do. And then he made that happen, which is it's a decision that I've come across many, many times, and I've never had the balls to actually do it. Right. But he did it. Right. And he had a lot to lose. Obviously he had a lot of resources as well. So he wasn't going to be homeless or anything, but
starving.
But he gave up, quite a bit. In order to pursue something something else. So I don't know. I think that it was just kind of interesting, because you have that choice. It's will you give up everything you've built so far, the empire, to go a different road? And I've always been tempted to make that choice, but I've always taken the safe road of
I'll share my story. Back in 2000, when I came to the US, I had graduated from my college in India with a degree in physics. So I had my bachelor's in physics, but I had applied to engineering colleges here, electrical and computer, grad schools in electrical and computer engineering. So when I had a scholarship from Rice University in the electrical and computer engineering department, and I took that to come study electrical and computer engineering for my master's, right? Master's/PhD. When I came here, of course, I had sold the dream in my application that I would work on semiconductors and, nanoparticles and quantum mechanics and quantum electronics and all that stuff. That was just right booming at the time. But as soon as right through that transition, I realized I don't really want to do that part. I just want to do hardcore computer engineering, electrical engineering, really want to do that. I want to do wireless communication systems and hardware design and VLSI design and all that stuff, computer architecture and all that crap, right? So I could have gone and done the physics side of things, which would have been quantum electronics, quantum particles, nanoparticles. There was a lot of stuff that's going on in the electrical engineering department that was more physics related. That would have been more of my background. Or I could go and do computer architecture and hardware design and wireless systems that I had no clue about, literally, because 4 years I studied physics. I didn't study anything engineering, really, just a few courses here and there. I had no clue, but my heart was like, I want to do this, man. I don't want to fucking keep doing physics anymore. I don't want to do anything related to physics anymore. I just want to move on. I want to do hardcore, real engineering, real like hands-on stuff that I can see works, right? So there was that period of the first 2 months where I was like waffling. What do I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I do computer engineering, or should I do go more into physical electronics, the physics side of things? Physical electronics, computer engineering, physical electronics. So I signed up for a whole bunch of courses. I signed up for the physical electronics courses, signed up for the computer engineering courses, signed up for like 20 credits. But then, at some point in the semester, 1 month into the semester, you have to make a choice. It's time to either drop the class or keep going, right? So you can choose 1 month into the semester whether you're going to keep doing this, or you're like, no, this is not, I don't want to do this, right? And I realized 20 credits, there's no way in hell I can do 20 credits. I am crazy to think I can even realistically pull that off. And I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do what I want to do, right? I was 21 at the time. I was young and naive. I was like, I'm not going to do physics just because I have to and because it's a safe route and because it'll, it's probably the right thing to do. I'm just going to freaking go after what I want to do, really, what I get passionate about, right? And the dangerous part of taking that decision was that if I went down the part of computer engineering, if I did not get good grades, which is if I got anything below 3.5 out of 4, I would lose my scholarship. I would lose all of the money that was being paid to me. And if I couldn't get the scholarship, I would have to leave the country. That means end of my dreams, end of my American dreams, end of my grad school dreams, everything gone. I would be back as just a bachelor's graduate in physics and nothing to my name. On the other hand, was the safe route, which was do the physical electronics part, probably do well, probably get a good GPA, and probably graduate with a master's degree and maybe a PhD in something that I wasn't really my heart was calling for, right? I wasn't too excited about it. I wasn't really going to be excited about it no matter what. And 1 month into it, man, I said, fuck it. I'm going for it. I don't care how bad it gets. I don't care what it's going to be like. I'm just going to do it. And I'll tell you, man, the next 2 years of my life were miserable for the amount of hard work I put in. But I tell you, it was miserable, but it was beautiful because also I passionately put in that hard work because it's, there's a difference between grinding it out for the sake of grinding it out because you don't really enjoy it anymore, but you're just doing the hard work because you feel like you're doing it. And there's the grind when you actually will just do whatever the fuck it takes. I literally spent 72 hours nonstop working on a project, just went to eat, didn't even get any sleep because the project was due and we couldn't debug a problem. And I just did it for 72 hours because I was so obsessed. I was like, I'm going to make this shit work. I don't know what else I can do other than just work hard like a maniac 24/7 to make this work. And I will do whatever the fuck it takes to make it work. And I'm obsessed because I enjoy this shit, right? It wasn't like I hated this shit and I'm going to make it work. Because if I hated that and I was going to try and make it work, I would have failed at it. That's what I feel. But the reason why I succeeded and I graduated with a GPA of 3.96 out of 4, which was pretty damn good, it was because I passionately pursued it, even though I had no clue what the fuck I was doing. Right. I just committed whole hog. I did not give myself a way out. There was no way out. I was like, fuck it. I'm going all in. There's no way out. If I fail at this, I'm going back home. It's going to be the end of the world as I know it. But not once through those 2 years did I think about that option.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Just that I'm going in. I'm going to make this shit happen. I'm going to keep fucking hustling hard, doing whatever it takes. Like if it means I'm working 24 hours a day or 20 hours a day, I will do it. But as soon as I thought about the physics part of it, the physical electronic side of things, my heart just sank. Like it was that heavy feeling. I'm like, oh man, I didn't come all, like it was like this. I didn't come all this way to just come all this way.
Right.
Right. So that's what really bothered me about the physics endeavor. I was like, dude, I made it this far. Now I can't. Now I can't take the other road. Now I can't take the easy road. Now it's a miracle that I got a scholarship from electrical and computer engineering school when I was a physics major. Nobody usually gets that. Like you don't, it's a miracle you get that. Never. It never happened in the history of my department. Nobody ever had done that. I pulled it off. It was a miracle. But at the same time, it was like, I have come so far. I can't now not do this. I got to go all the way. I pulled it off. I'm going to keep fucking doing this. I'm going to keep writing this. And I'm not going to stop until I figure it out. And so, and you probably hear the passion in my voice right now. And the reason for that is because that was real passion at the time. Like I did not just say, fuck it, I'll settle. Right? I just went in. And that's the only reason why I succeeded at that endeavor. Because if I had just taken that easy route or maybe tried both, it would have blown up in my face.
Yeah.
Right.
The easy route would have fucked me up. I know that because I would have been miserable every day doing the easy shit. Rather than doing the hard shit, getting really fucking hard on it and just saying, I will do it no matter what, man. I will fucking figure this shit out because I want to, because I really, really, really want to.
Yeah, that's a tough choice. We're old though now. We're old men now.
Well, that's why like the Matthew McConaughey story tells me the exact same thing, right?
Yeah.
He went through, even probably he was at our age at the time when he was making that decision.
He shut down his production company too. He had a bunch of businesses that he was going. He shut down like 3 or 4 of them because it was too much. And yeah, so it's weird though, because it's like you look at that and you're like, well, he was he had all this money already, and so it wasn't that big of a deal. But it never changes. No matter where you're at, you've always got something to lose. Like it's so whatever empire you've built. But yeah,
just because you have money doesn't mean that you're not making any more new money and you feel like a loser is a good feeling for 2 years, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard though to.
Dude, I mean, you're right that I was young back then and we're older now, but wouldn't you make the same mistakes you did like as a young person, like going after the shit that you really wanted to do rather than settling for stuff that you kind of sort of feel like doing or you think is the right thing to do?
I mean, I did a lot of shit that I didn't want to do for sure, but I mean, you eventually have to. But
the other thing is to that point, oh, gee, we're old now because I'm 40. I think you're 40 too, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah, we're all 40.
We're all 40. So, but
Manny's just trying to get in under that. Yeah, there we go.
We're all 40. Don't worry about me.
Manny's the baby, huh? Or is he the old man? I don't know.
I'm the old man.
Anyway, so my deal here is just, I'm 40 and it would have been good to do this when I was 20, right? To or set things up so that, I don't know. If this hadn't gone down, would I still continue to enjoy doing dev chat the way that I had? I don't know. But ultimately, I mean, let's imagine that I live for another 40 years. I mean, if that's the case, I'd rather be doing something that I love and work toward that now. So are the opportunities different? Sure. Some of them are better and some of them are worse, and there are going to be different sacrifices to be made for any of them. But yeah, I'm just, I need to figure out where I want to end up at, where I'm going to be happy and go do that stuff and, pay the price. Because if I continue if there was a way that I could continue to do, to the tech community and all that stuff and be happy doing it, maybe that's a better way to go. And maybe there is. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't see the podcast community doing the same things to itself that the programming community is.
Let's see.
Well, I would say, like, you got to go with what you care for rather than worrying so much about the community aspect of things, because at some point this community will shape up to whatever you like, the people you want and all that stuff. Like there's a little bit of that, but if you really like, if you just let your life be driven by this community or that community, you can find yourself in a lot of misery.
That's true too. Yeah, I need to figure out what
you almost have to think yourself as a leader and decide what you're going to build rather than worry about, oh my God, this community, this or this community, that. Fuck that, right? You almost have to be like, what am I going to build? What am I going to bring to this world? And let the people who want to follow, and let those who don't want to follow. Like, this will be a fight, and this is how it's going to be, rather than, worrying so much about this community doing this or that. Like, it's gonna run you ragged, and it's not going to give you fulfillment.
Yeah,
because you're gonna find ways to. But the challenge, and this is something that I've been learning more and more through experiences with people, is like, whenever we try to find things outside of ourselves and try to use that as a way to define or use that as a way to define whether I'm doing the right thing or the wrong thing, or whether you like, it's almost like, can you blame any of the outside circumstances for what you're doing? Or should you just say, fuck it, I don't really care. I'm going to do what I think is the right thing to do. Because as soon as you put the blame, because you can say all this about tech community, but partly internally, you're blaming some of that
you're right.
success. And that's not what you want in life, right?
Nope.
Here, like, you want to say, irrespective of whatever the fuck they did, I have to do what I have to do to make it work. This is the Stoic philosophy, right? So you're going to say, I don't care. Like, the people are going to do what they're going to do, but you could not be like, you cannot become their victim. That's what I'm saying. You cannot become their bitch and let them dictate your life or your moves in that way. You can, you can serve people, but you cannot let them. Don't let that ever make you a victim of circumstances, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you have to carve out your own community. I guess is the key there. But I mean, if you look at the model, right, there's a couple of people that are doing this that works out pretty well. I mean, you've got Daily Wire, right? So Ben Shapiro's company, he's got sponsors. He's got Ring as a sponsor. He's got Dave Ramsey's company, like the security, home security company. There's a few
Simply
of them.
Safe or whatever.
Yeah, Simply Safe, and I think there's a couple others that they've got. That are big. But I mean, they're same thing with Crowder, right? Steven Crowder, right? He's got like 5 million YouTube subscribers. He's got a mug club. They're carving out their own communities essentially.
That's true.
So you could do that. It's just definitely, like, if you go down that road, you have to go down that road completely. Like, there's no half-assing it. Like, you have
to.
So the reason why I shared some of the stuff on the Sculpted Vegan, I don't know if you guys checked it out. She went from 0 to 4 million in 3 years, right? Check out her site. It's pretty interesting. One of the things she does not sell, if you check out all of her marketing, and she talks about that. I just stumbled into her stuff. She does not sell the easy path.
Right.
Everything in marketing says you got to make it easy for your customers. You got to make them feel like they're not wrong. You got to make them feel like they are not at fault for anything. And she's saying, fuck you, bitches. This is going to be hard. This is the hardest program you will ever do. And you will do it because that's the kind of bitch you are, right?
Right.
That's her approach. And she kills it because there's a community out there that says,
that wants it.
That's me. I want that, right? Yes, a mass majority of people are the 99% who don't want to take responsibility, who don't want to feel like they, the life should be hard or that anything should be hard. And to them, we sell the easy stuff. But what she's doing is she doesn't care about the 99%. She's selling to the 1%. And ultimately, that is the best marketing when you're selling to the damn 1% that really resonates with you. She's like, fuck you. It's going to be hard. You're going to crap in your pants sometimes when you're doing squats because that's how hard it's going to be. It's all right. Because you want that. Because you want to have that badass body, right?
Yeah.
So you got to pick but the truth is she's not doing that to market. She's just doing that because that's who she is. Right? Partly probably she is doing the market and she's a savvy marketer. That's why she went from 0 to 4 million in 3 years. But she's literally speaking her truth. She's like, if you want to be a badass bitch like me, let's do this. But if you just want to be the soft one, then this is not for you.
Mm-hmm.
They're selling hardship. She's selling hardship and people are buying it by the truckloads.
Yep, true.
So
all right, well, I've got some decisions to make.
I know, man. It's a tough one. But you got to go with your guts is all I can say.
Yeah.
But don't let your gut lull you into believing that doing everything is a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to go down this road, definitely pick one thing for sure.
Yep.
And just go all in on it. But
it might be the biggest blessing in the world, man. Like you just don't know when things turn around for like when you're grinding out and you keep working on something and it's just not showing you the result. And then you work on something that's more of your calling and more of your passion and more of your drive and enthusiasm. And I don't really believe in calling or anything like that. More like the stuff that gets you excited and gets you out of bed and like, let me freaking make this shit work. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make this damn thing work, right? And you sit at your computer all day just because you know it's going to have to work and because you're going to do everything. Compared to the thing that you're like, I hope it works and I don't know why it's not working. And that damn thing is just pissing me off. And when you are whining about shit and it's not really, I'm just, putting it out there as like, you have to honestly ask your own mind or your own self as to what's the stuff that brings you alive and you can go after it rather than try to do all sorts of things.
Yep. Makes sense. All right. Well, it'll be an interesting call next week, I think.
Okay.
Are you going to make a decision by then?
Yeah, I am.
All right, man. I'm looking forward to that. I'm always available if you want to talk on the phone.
Yeah, I think there are just some things that I need to figure out on my own.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you wanted to bounce ideas, you can.
Yeah.
Don't have to, but good luck.
Yep.
That's huge. A week is,
Well, I'll do what I got to do.
All right. Should we do our thoughts and wrap this up then?
Yep.
All right. Of course, I don't have any at this point.
Chuck is the one with all the thoughts today.
Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, I guess some of the things that I'm thinking about are, just knowing when to give up, knowing when to keep going, knowing.
Frankly, I never felt like my physics journey, I never gave up. I just moved on.
Yeah. It feels like giving up. I think that's part of my issue with, you know, some of this stuff. Anyway, I don't know if I have a thought.
Okay. I have the thought and what I call the ultimate life hack. And I want to present it to you again today because it is the ultimate life hack. It's called commitment. You commit to one thing and you figure out a way to make it happen. Commitment makes anything possible. Until we're committed, we're waffling. There's a quote by W.H. Murray. He says, until one is committed, there's hesitation. There's that feeling of fear. But once one's committed, providence moves and you find a way. And you always find a way. Always find a way. If you commit, you always find a way. So, and I think, like, I always believe that is the greatest life hack, because if you can find yourself to commit to anything, you always find a way. But a lot of life is lost in dabbling. A lot of life is lost in not being committed.
Yep.
Let's see. I guess I'll say that life can only be lived in moments, in each moment. So you have to take every single step that you have to take at that time. So as I'm training for this 100-mile race, I got to go run 14 miles today, and I got to do 18 tomorrow, and then 16 on Sunday. And so, like, looking at all that, it's a lot, and my legs are pretty wrecked. But all I have to do is just get out there and do what I need to do today, and then, you know, one step at a time, one moment at a time, and that's it. That's the only way you can live. You can't live life ahead in the future. You can't live it in the past. You have to live it at the present moment. So that means that you just have to do what you need to do. And when you look at things that way, then it's a lot more possible to do the things that you would think are impossible, because it's one thing, one step, one breath, one word, one sentence, one task, as opposed to everything that needs to get done in order to accomplish the goal. So so look at it in the moment. All right. Yep. Cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll see you guys next week then.